What's up, fellas and ladies? It's time for Wake Up Mintzy. We got the Stella Blue out, drinking some iced coffee. We got the Dude Wipes. We're joined right off the top by the lovely Annika. How are you doing today?
I'm so excited to be here. I actually was really jealous when Hannah on her first day got to do Wake Up Mintzy, and I'm over a year in, and this is my first time.
Well, I'm honored to have you, and I appreciate you giving us some time out of your schedule because it's been a wild few weeks for you. I got to say, the Beach House crew, and we're going to get into Beach House, and I got some questions from Twitter for Annika, but I said I'll only ask them if they're appropriate. Man, what a run y'all had, though, because y'all have done the Beach House 3 weekends, but y'all went Beach House weekend 2 to Wisconsin for Camp Barstool and back to the Beach House. So how are we feeling this week?
I feel good. I feel Dante and I were talking about it today. It's crazy. You come back, you're in your own apartment, and you feel like king, queen of the world because you have your own space again. We were sharing bathrooms in all the places and sharing rooms in all the places. So it's now nice to come back and have a little space until we go back to the shore for another 4 nights.
Yes, but last weekend though, you know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel now. And so I feel like that should set up what should be a really fun time because everybody knows this is it. And so you're going to get the full effort.
I think everybody's going to be running off adrenaline and be really stoked and go kind of, for lack of a better term, balls to the walls on the last weekend.
Well, before we get into, we're going to talk about Barstool Beach House a decent bit. I want to see Camp Barstool. What'd you think?
I loved Camp Barstool. I loved it last year. I loved it this year. I think it's a great opportunity for all of us to get closer. Because, I mean, in the office, obviously we all talk, but we're not all sitting around a campfire telling camp stories and having a good old time. So I think that was a great time.
I absolutely loved it. Like, not even just liked it. And we get to do a lot of cool stuff here. A lot of stuff that I never would have imagined. But Camp Barstool is one of my favorite things. It was beautiful up in the Northwoods in northern Wisconsin. I went to summer camp for 10 years as a kid. Did a month at Alpine and Lookout Mountain by kind of Alabama-Tennessee border. And I felt like I was 12 years old at Alpine again.
Out of pure curiosity, what was your favorite part of Camp Barstool?
Well, a small thing that I loved was waking up wearing a hoodie in the summer. And I'm not saying that was my favorite, but like I just love that with how hot it is in the South, just being able to walk around in a hoodie at night, in the morning. But as far as that goes, I think the camaraderie, as you said, I think one of the coolest things is getting this whole office up there, hanging out together for 4 days, you know, because we all live in this big city, Chicago, which I'd love. I'm not hating on Chicago, but it's like fast lifestyle, hustle bustle. Everybody's busy all the time. And just unplugging, being at camp, being away from that, but being around all our people. I felt like it brought a lot of people together in the company. And and also just in the summer, what a cool thing to do at the end of the summer because we're balls to the wall now, football starting. And then I liked, as far as activities go, I loved getting to tube with Nikki Smokes. I thought that was super fun. Yeah. But, you know, I just thought it was just extremely well run, and shout out Mountain Dew for sponsoring it and allowing us to go. The sleeping in the cabin thing, I could tell people by Thursday were kind of ready for that to end. But I was luckily in a cabin. We didn't really have anybody snoring. I had like Wonton Don and Chef Donnie and Jack. Jack Wiper and Memes and Shane. So we kind of had like a little bit of a lower key, no real friction in the cabin. Heard some horror stories about some other cabins, especially the Beef Kadick one was tough on Tate. Tate was like sleeping in the dining hall. He looked like he had like bloodshot eyes for 2 or 3 days. But
not surprised.
No, but what about you? What were some of your favorite parts?
Favorite part? Well, okay, so I think it helped a lot that we were only filming like 4 hours a day. I think the campfires at night, those were
love that too.
Yeah, that's so much fun to do. And then I mean, actually we saw you there. Nick and I would watch the sun.
Oh yeah, y'all had that bench. There was that bench. So there was a bench. It was like overlooking the I don't know if you call it a lake, whatever the body of water was. And there was a bench out there, and then I was sitting out like probably 60 yards y'all's right in this chair. But I love just sitting out there golden hour, watching the sunset over the water. I love that like time of day between like 6:30 and 8:30 p.m.
It's so scenic, and you don't get that around here in a concrete jungle, essentially. I mean, unless you go to the lakefront. But that was literally a walk down from the cabin, was to go look at this beautiful lake.
Yeah, I loved it. And I also enjoyed, I'll tell you what else I enjoyed was I'm running and training for the marathon. The weather was nice there, so I could run outside every day.
How many miles did you do?
There I did 4 one day, 3 2 days. But, I don't know. I'm doing way more. I mean, I did Sunday night, I did 15, which is the second longest of my life. So I'm trying to pump it up. I got to get to 18 and then 20 in the next few weeks by mid-September. So, we're getting there. But we're not messing around. And I'm going to have raising money for Paws, great charity, helps rescue dogs and cats, find homes, keeps them alive, does great things in the community. Still a blue partner with them, but I'm going to be dropping my fundraising link and I'm actually going to Paws on Thursday to meet some of the animals.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be super fun. So we're about to be pushing that. But loved camp. Now we're back here getting ready for football, but I want to get into the beach house stuff. Well, I mean, what's this been like to live? How we doing?
It is a very crazy reality to live in because I think unless you are literally living in the house, you don't get how, I don't want to say awkward, like it's definitely a change of pace when you have cameras following you all the time. And then on top of that, you have people up till 4 a.m. and then back awake at 8 a.m. And it's crazy because you always want to be involved. You always want to be a part of it. And then all of a sudden you're 4 hours asleep and you're like, oh boy, that was a lot to do. But overall, like, we get along so well. I
got a great crew.
Yeah, we all have such a good time together. I have like really very few complaints about it, literally besides the sleeping in bathrooms. And that's just because I'm weird.
Well, when this all idea came about a couple months ago, I remember Dave Portnoy sent out a company-wide email, like, who's interested in this. I actually said yes on the email, but thinking Dave always tells us don't say no to stuff at Barstool unless you have a real good excuse. I was like, well, I mean, I'd do it if you asked. But I was like, after I said it, I was like, I'm the worst fit of all time for this because I don't drink and I'm 42 years old. And if I'm there, it'll be like very weird. But when you went,
Dante did it.
Yeah. Dante still parties a little bit more than I do, though. But like when you went into it, because it's been such a huge success. The social clips, I mean, we're doing millions of views. I think it's introduced a whole different part of our fan base to a lot of our younger employees. I'm sure you're noticing it everywhere you go. You're getting recognized a lot more, I would think, out of this. Has this been like when you went into it expectation wise versus what it is? Like, what have you thought?
I'm trying to think what I expect. I really went into it with not a lot of expectation. I had absolutely no idea how it was going to go. Complete transparency. I was like, I don't know if this is going to do well as like a social series. It doesn't really seem to make much sense. And I'm so glad that it's just taken off and done as well as it has, because to be honest, like, when you're around, when a camera's following you 24/7, like, you're putting a lot on the line.
Oh, no doubt. That's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, you say a lot of things that maybe you don't mean to say on camera. You do a lot of things that maybe you don't mean to do on camera because you forget a camera's following you. And it's nice for us that we see like an actual payout from it. People are actually paying attention. People are actually falling in love with our personalities, and I love that for us.
Yeah, I think that's definitely happened, and there's a lot of good storylines with it too. The Danny Conrad and Jackie thing I think's been great, and they're both so like lovable as people.
Those two, and in the house, they are so funny around each other. Like, when Jackie's drunk, Danny will do like stupid little tricks. Jackie is hysterically laughing at all of them. It's so much fun to watch them.
Yeah, I love that. And then obviously, I'll give a huge shout out to Smokes. Dave has been on him, but he's a perfect scumbag reality TV character. Man, he's great on this thing. And he, a lot of, obviously the Brandon Walker's funeral kind of directly led to this content idea. Yeah. And I think he's taken it and ran with it. And there's, like you said, there's a lot being shared here. I mean, there was controversy the first week, some sticky stuff, but, I remember he was on the yak and he had to just take it that Monday. Yeah. And he stood in there and he just took it, and that's all you can do. And I got to give him a shout out. I got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, no, he's taken it well. I think he's so good on reality TV because he does believe he's always right, even if he's in the wrong. So he'll fight with people left and right, and it makes for a great show. Yeah,
even, obviously y'all's thing's become one of the longer storylines of Barstool, but it's always entertaining. Like, every time y'all are together, whether, we're dating, not, I'm not, I don't even, who knows on that. But it's just all y'all's. I don't know, all y'all's engagements. I mean, they always do well. They always feel like there's like a vibe that you can tell y'all really care about each other, but then you give each other shit. You give them a lot of shit, which is easy to do. But it's somehow, I don't know, y'all found a middle ground with it that's good.
Yeah. We shameless plug. We just started a podcast because we had so many people randomly. I mean, Brandon Walker even was like, those two would be really funny if they did a podcast together. And so we finally kind of materialized it because I do agree. We do bicker well and banter well.
But there's like an underlying thing, though, that even when y'all are bickering going at it, there's still like a little bit of like a loving thing with it. And I don't know. It's a fine middle ground. And it's interesting when your real life relationships are out there for the whole world to see. Mm-hmm. And like that's got to be, it's like, how's living with that dynamic?
Well, we were talking about it's kind of, I mean, one of the more frustrating things is seeing like comments that are like, we're sick of this storyline. And we're like, you're telling me I'm living this storyline. This is not a storyline for show. This is our lives. Like, if you're sick of it, we're equally sick of it. So I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah, I think I gave you this advice before on the commenting thing. And because I also have received tons of hate online over my 5 years here. I mean, I feel like it's just such a rabbit hole if you go down it can get in your headspace that like I just like look at the engagement on it.
For sure.
And if there's like, even if they're hateful, there's hundreds of comments, like you're doing your job because people are clicking.
What's the saying? Love me or hate me, you're still watching.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And like even like Joe Rogan, biggest podcast in the world, he said he doesn't read comments.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think that there's something to be said for that, even though, I mean, I want feedback from the stories. I'm not saying that, but like when it gets like incredibly negative and toxic and you're just reading how much people hate you, like that's not good for anybody.
But I do have kind of a slight rebuttal to it. I like reading comments on my own posts because I think there's an aspect of groupthink in the comments.
Got it, yeah.
If comments are all awful, then everybody follows suit, versus if I can get ahead of these hateful comments and delete them and then more positive comments start coming in, then hopefully the rest of the comments follow suit with the positivity.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the saga with you and Nikki, y'all looked awful friendly over the weekend. But then, you know, I feel like you got caught by Roan probably at the end of a 2 or 3 week deal because you did the beach house camp and that. So you probably got caught at a moment where you were probably pretty tired and wiped out. But, you know, that was interesting. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, and at first I was like, I really don't want to be crying on camera. And then I actually think it worked to my benefit. People saw that I'm human and it's not. And I think it worked to Nick's benefit as well, where people thought I wasn't crazy about him or that like I literally didn't care about him at all. And I think that showed that I do, and that I do have emotions as well as I hold myself. So I'm glad in hindsight that I cried.
Look, I actually think it's more than fine too. I think that it just almost shows you're more of a human.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've had a lot of people like Jeff D. Lowe after the dozen a few years ago, and Riggs had a famous one leaving Pinehurst. I mean, you're not the first to have that happen at Barstool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell y'all right now, I mean, I'd be shocked if I'm not crying at the end of this marathon. I think I would literally be absolutely shocked.
You should be crying. That is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, I think there's a chance you're going to see. You could see it with the journey I've been on this year. But there's no shame in that though. Like it's like the Jim Valvano thing used to say: if you laugh, you cry, that's like the full human experience.
Yeah. I mean, especially when I cried on Roan, it's just like. And I think it's going to be, I mean, obviously different situation, but you after the marathon, it's just like you're kind of overwhelmed with emotions and naturally tears start flowing.
Yeah, I think I would bet it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I've been a little emotional on this journey some this year. Some other stuff at the beach house, the Kadick Ella thing, and just honestly, Kadick's become a star during beach house, but the Ella stuff, I can't get enough of it. She lets the fur fly. You know,
she does.
I mean, she lets it fly, but it's refreshing to me to see that when she's on camera, comfortable doing it. And I think a lot of people relate to that.
It's funny because her and I are kind of polar opposites in the sense where I think about, what can't I do? But she is so, so incredibly funny because she doesn't care. She's like, I let it fly.
Oh, she's twerking on camera?
Yeah, I mean, it pays out for her incredibly. I mean, she is hysterical and borderline America's sweetheart of the girls.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really, really funny. Just all the stuff with her. And then I've always loved Tommy Smokes, despite the fact that he put me through just absolute torture a few years ago when he faked my arrest.
What?
Oh yeah, he did the Smoke show where he plotted a whole thing where I got arrested on camera. I wasn't sure it was real, but he kind of fooled me too. I'll send you the link to that show. I mean,
I'm really curious.
he framed me stealing a laptop out of it was crazy. But despite that, huge Smokes roadie. I think he's one of the most creative and funny people in the company, and I think he's been great on it too.
Well, what I can appreciate about Tommy is that, one, he's hysterical. I've told him every single time I talk to him, I tell him, I'm like, Tommy, you are one of the funniest people to me. And it's pretty much PG or G-rated humor, which typically is not my type of humor, but he has me like dying laughing. And then also there's a side to him, he's such a genuine person. If you sit down and actually want to have a real conversation with him, any day he's happy to do that.
Yeah, big fan. And then the other people I want to mention the cast, Dante, the wild card, Unk. He's always been a wild card, and he's always never been afraid to share his opinion on anything. And so he's always stirring the pot. So I think that's kind of worked out.
Yeah, I mean, he's exactly as I thought he was gonna be. I've said from the beginning, and I've said it to his face, I'm like, you're a nut job. You're nutty. I stand by that, and I think he's nutty in the best way, and it adds a really interesting dynamic to the group to have him there.
Yeah, I think like that was the right old guy to have in there. Not me.
He has made breakfast for us on multiple mornings.
Is he like up cleaning? Does he clean the place up before y'all are up?
I mean, I wouldn't say, it's not like he's our housemaid cleaning level, but he's definitely cleaned up more than his fair share.
Awesome. And then got to ask about the Brianna dynamic. This has got to be the first time you've probably spent a lot of time with her. How's that been?
Fine. Yeah. I mean, I think it was kind of blown up a little bit when I said something about like special treatment, and I tried to make it clear that that was not Bree's fault when I said that, and then people took it and ran. So I felt a little awkward for a second with her because I didn't want her to think that I was like trying to attack her for no reason and something I didn't think she had like a part in necessarily. But yeah, she's been great. She's been really, really nice. She's been fun to be around. Yeah.
I've always liked her.
Yeah.
I mean, like we have one of those, like, we always say what's up to each other around each other, but like I've always been a big fan of hers.
Yeah, she's been great. I mean, brands have like reached out to her to come over to the house and do things, and she always gets all of us involved with whatever brand wants to come work with her, which is really, really considerate.
Yeah, and I mean, I heard giving a month to this too with where she is in the company's awesome. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I think that's great. And then finally, the Una thing is an interesting dynamic, just especially with her not being full time here. So that's like a little bit of a weird walk for her on that show, because you want to be like a big character on it, but then she also probably is walking on eggshells a little bit. I don't know. That kind of seems like a weird one to manage.
I have never felt so bad for someone in my life in terms of the internet comments. And I mean, because as much as you try to avoid internet comments, and I know she like tries to make sure she doesn't see anything. Naturally, when we're on a show that's on this scale, it comes up on her For You page where people are talking about her and stuff, and we all get it, but I think a lot of us are a lot more used to it, and she's not, and I would not wish that on my worst enemy. I don't think anybody really understands the weight of internet comments and how much that can affect your mental health. So I don't know. She's been a lot stronger than I would be if I was getting some of the comments she's getting. So I'm proud of her, and she's been nothing but a great housemate.
Awesome. Well, what favorite beach house moments? You got any particular favorite moments?
Oh, geez. We had a boat day that was a lot.
Yeah, I saw it.
Moobie and Kelly came with us, and they were, oh my God, they were so much fun to have on the shore. And then, watching Pup Punk.
Pup Punk rocks.
Yeah. I mean, Dante getting them started, and he played his DJ set. That was so much fun. And then going straight into Pup Punk was like the best day ever. Yeah,
love them. Shout out if you've never seen Pup Punk do it. They crush it. Yeah. And it's not just because they're Barstool guys. I mean, it would be a great show if they weren't Barstool people.
They play plenty of songs.
A lot of 90s. Oh, yeah. I know it turns back time. Mm-hmm. You know, like I went to a couple of them last year, one in Ole Miss and one in Chicago, that ended up crowd surfing at both. And they were both just so much fun. And all those guys are great too.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So last weekend, now you're going in, you're 3 weekends in, so it feels like y'all done so much. Boat day, the wedding, the bachelorette thing, the pup punk thing. I'm curious what's left on the table here. I don't know what can be spoiled, but don't spoil anything, actually, because this show's had problems with that.
Yeah, the show has had problems with that. I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
Okay, don't. Yeah.
I know.
Are you excited? Are you excited about what's to come?
I'm very excited.
Okay.
I think I'm more excited for this weekend than any other weekend because I'm just someone who it takes me a while to process. I get overwhelmed easily. I've been able to process everything to the fullest extent, so I have like a very clear mind and a lot of good nights of sleep before going into this weekend. And obviously, it's really helpful that Nick and I are on great terms. So yeah, I'm really excited.
It's got to be nice. How's the sleep been coming this week off all the road trip?
Oh, I've been sleeping for 10, 11 hours a night, and I could not ask for anything more. And then, I mean, yeah, when you're coming, you go from 4 hours, maybe if you're lucky, 4.5 hours of sleep into 10 or 11 hours. I feel like a brand new person.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I'm glad you do. I did a thing where I ask Annika questions, but I said I'll only read them if they're appropriate. Somebody says, does she wear spaghetti noodles for long sleeve shirts?
That's really nice, I think.
Yeah. All right. Nacho cheese or Cool Ranch?
Nacho cheese. Actually, that's really easy. Yeah.
If she had to pick one sporting event to go to, which one would it be?
At this point in my life, I would go to, March Madness Championship? What's it called?
Okay, Final Four?
Yeah.
Okay, Final Four. If Arizona made it.
Yeah.
Because I know you loved Arizona. Yep. It was fun having you during the NCAA tournament watching Arizona when they made a run.
Yeah. Love watching.
I just moved to Tucson. What spot should I hit up?
Oh, Culinary Dropout. Always a good one. I don't know. I'd have to look because there's a lot of like little random corner spots that you would never think of.
Okay. So what did you go? Tucson, good college town though, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it very much so is a college town, but I had a great time there.
Okay. Next one's why are you doing a show with your ex and how long do you think it will go after you get angry at him for something?
So we've actually talked about this and we both agreed. We've had plenty of big blowout fights and we both agreed that no matter what, we will do the show weekly. If not, I'll do it myself I'm not letting him take it. I would do it myself if he didn't want to do an episode. What was the other part of that question? Did I answer?
Just like how would y'all like why are you doing a show with your ex?
Why are we doing it? We just have good banter and there's a few people in the company who tend to be critical people who have been like, you guys would have a very funny dynamic, so we figured why not give it a shot, and we figured strike while the iron's hot. We have the viewership from Beach House right now, so we wanted to get it started pretty much immediately.
Okay. Here's this is a sweet comment. Does she know she's beautiful inside and out?
Oh, that's really nice. Thank you to whoever said that.
All right. I think, most of the rest of the comments are making fun of me for having a wake-up show at 4 p.m. But
wait, can I ask about that?
Well, yeah,
are you going to change the name?
I think so. We're gonna switch it. We got to get a new logo, but I think we're gonna come up. We're gonna switch it. We're gonna switch it up here soon. Well, awesome. Well, so y'all heading out Thursday morning?
Yep.
And then it's all but Monday being Labor Day, so y'all are Thursday through Sunday, and you come back.
Yeah, we come back Monday at like 3.
Okay. Heck yeah. And then also you got a new so you got the new podcast with Smokes and then you got the draft. What's going on with the DraftKings deal?
So it's a social series every week for September and October where I basically explain sports betting and different aspects of sports betting primarily for the girls because that's how I got started. No one really taught me and I still don't have a super complex knowledge of sports betting, but I think it's fun to have a girl who does understand sports betting explain it in a way that makes sense
relates
to girls.
Yeah, especially y'all's age
because
group.
like guys used to try to explain it to me and they're like, just take the spread, and it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
You don't realize how much people don't know unless you've been there before, and most guys have always had this knowledge of sports and knows exactly.
You're actually doing a lot of favors for guys to make this more comfortable for their significant others.
Oh, for sure.
No, that's cool. And so, what's the name of it?
Sharpish.
Sharpish. Mm-hmm. Heck yeah. Well, looking forward to following that. And yeah, I just want to say thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be following all weekend long. And yeah, just all great stuff. And I always enjoy. We sit up by each other, so it's always fun. You get to see y'all every day.
Well, thank you, Mintzy.
All right, Tyler Moody's going to jump on. We're going to talk some college football real quick because it's week 1. Thank God. And we're ready to fire on DraftKings. A lot of big promotions at DraftKings going on as well. Their biggest one for new customers. Bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets and $200 off a Sunday ticket this year. Freaking amazing. But DraftKings is the only place to bet during college football and football season, and no better time to deposit than now, getting ready for week 1. What's up, Mr. Moody? How are you?
Oh, what's up, brother? I'm doing fantastic today. I'm ready to win. Let's do it. Can't hear me, can you? You didn't turn your headset on. Turn your headphones on. I'm talking.
Not sure why I can't hear Moody in my mic. But would be standard.
Go check your headphones.
Standard classic. Let me go check. Let me go check. Let me check the button.
Typical minutes. These are the kind of things that I tell him to do before the show every time, and it just doesn't get done. I mean, what more do you expect at this point? What's up, boys and girls? Any college football questions, any NFL questions you got, drop them real quick, and we'll be sure to get to them for sure. I see.
Yeah, shout out to Annika though, man. Hey, Moody, shout out to Annika. Big fan of hers, man.
Oh yeah.
Great and just like
she's been fantastic. I've been watching way more of the beach house content than I expected to be watching. So, I mean, I've really enjoyed it. Ella Griff has freaking...
I know, that's what I was talking about. Ella is just unreal. Dude, she's like not a real person. No, she's unbelievable.
She's been sensational across the board.
Super excited. And then, anyway, getting into... today, this is week 1 college football. Obviously, Moody, we got the Fantasy Football Factory pod stuff we're rolling. A lot of fantasy drafts going on. Next week, we'll hit the NFL super hard for week 1. But this week's all about the college football. This is... week 1, and then I do a thing every Tuesday with a mutual friend of ours, and we go through all the games deep, and that's like when I start formulating my opinions, and I had that phone call right before the show, so I'm kind of ready to rock, and feel free to fire away some questions. I got trolled as usual pretty hard in the comments, but what are you going to do?
Well, we got a couple in the chat already talking about college football. Our boy Chadwick Moff says, Mintzy, first week of football, any college games which teams cover the spread? Which games in week 1 do teams cover the spreads that you would bet the house on?
All right. Well, I wouldn't bet the house on anything. I would make educated guesses. Got to clearly say that. But I do have a few favorite games. A couple games caught my eye. And shout out Chadwick. Appreciate you in the chat, riding with us and always ask questions. And feel free to fire more away. All right. 2 games, Moody, stood out to me. Okay. Both big games. One of them, Friday night, top 25 matchup. Battle in Waco, Texas. Hugh Freeze, Auburn Tigers, going on the road to Waco, taking on Dave Aranda and the Baylor Bears. A lot to get into in this matchup, but Baylor, Sawyer Robertson, really good quarterback. Had a good offense last year. Defense fell off, which was weird under Aranda. A lot of continuity, a lot of speed back. Has a shot in the Big 12. Auburn, Freeze has had 2 pretty bad years. They spent a lot of money on Jackson Arnold, who did not do well at OU. He's going to be the starting quarterback. They do have 2 elite receivers in Coleman, who was a freshman last year, and Eric Singleton from Georgia Tech, who got like $2 million in the portal, or at least $1.5 million. He got a huge bag. Auburn's a 2.5-point road favorite here on Friday night in Waco, Texas. And Moody, I smell a rat. Rat line here. Auburn, road favorite by 2.5, kind of begging you to take the SEC team. New quarterback and a new system after he struggled last year. Not a lot of continuity there. No idea how Arnold's going to look. Baylor returning most of their offense. Really good quarterback. Sold out Friday night game of week at Waco, Texas. Hugh Freeze at Auburn. And I know him from the Ole Miss days. Great underdog coach. Gets him up for an underdog as good as anybody. Sucks as a favorite. Give me Baylor. Baylor beats them. Like it a lot. Plus 2.5.
Baylor straight up on the money line. What do you get, like plus 150 on that?
It's only like plus 115, but I think Baylor wins that game. I really do. And then the other game that really caught my eye is the big one at the Horseshoe, Texas at Ohio State. Ohio State a 2.5-point favorite, 47.5 on DraftKings, 11 a.m. Number 1 versus number 2 in a lot of spots. Rematch of the semifinal playoff game. Or was it semifinal or quarterfinal? I think it was a semifinal. Ohio State won. Different dynamics this year, though. Ohio State, new quarterback, Julian Sayin, redshirt freshman, talented but young. Biggest dynamic, 2 new coordinators for Ohio State. Chip Kelly, gone. Promote Brian Hartline as receivers coach. One of the best receivers coach. Look at all the guys they've sent to the NFL. Elite receiver coach. How is he as a coordinator? I have no idea. Does Ryan Day step in and call plays? I don't know how that's going to work. But the biggest thing on Ohio State that I'm going to say right now that I think is going to hurt them all year and be one of the biggest things is they made a horrendous defensive coordinator hire. They lost Jim Knowles, who I thought was one of the best 3 defensive coordinators of college football, and he goes to a rival in Penn State after they won a national title, which is very weird. And they bring in Matt Patricia from the NFL, former Patriots DC and offensive coordinator, which is crazy, former Lions head coach. And I think it's a horrendous hire, Moody. I don't think Patricia's been good anywhere. I think he runs a really complicated defense that I don't think is going to necessarily work in college football against RPOs and stuff. And I think that's going to be a story on this year. Ohio State is going from Knowles to Patricia. And I think Steve Sarkisian is one of the best play callers in the college football. I think he's going to run circles around Patricia. And I think, Arch Manning's only started a few games, but he's been in that system 2.5 years. It's different than what Julian Sayin been there a year. Texas by 7-14 in the horseshoe. That's my other big play. Texas plus 2.5.
See, that's what I keep seeing everywhere. Everybody's got Texas. I keep seeing Texas is going to blow out Ohio State. I would just caution that I think Ohio State is more in this game than the public is giving them credit. And the public's all over Texas in this. The public is heavy on Texas. So that scares me just a little bit. I don't think Ohio State is going to fall quite as far as people believe. They're still talented. They've recruited.
Oh, no doubt.
They have plethora of talent.
Oh, no. Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs are probably the 2 best players in college football for wide receiver and safety. No, look, I'm not saying Ohio State's falling that hard. I think they're going to be a top 10 team this year, and I think that they're going to be really good by the middle of the year. It's just that's a lot of new parts in week 1 is all my thoughts.
Biggest concern in that game is Arch Manning. I need to see it. Like, it's just the last name on his jersey right now. When he stepped in and played, what was the Georgia game? He looked nervous, and he missed some throws that he should not have missed, and they took him back out at halftime. So, I believe that, he's probably going to be fine as the season progresses. This is a huge game, week 1. Will he truly be ready for this? I have question marks about Texas just as much as I do Ohio State. I think this game will be closer than people are giving it credit right now.
Well, Ohio State's favored, so it should be close. But excited for that. And, hey, big noon kickoff, Dave Portnoy making his debut on Fox. How about the news yesterday of Dave being banned from the stadium? Did you see that?
I did see that. That's pretty wild. That was a ballsy move by Michigan. And I'm sure the last thing you want to do is just give Dave some bulletin board material.
Exactly.
I saw he was on their ass already today. That's a dumbass move. Just for that.
Dumbass
if it was anybody else, it's probably not a big deal, but it's Dave Portnoy, and he just doesn't play that shit. So
was he even going to go in the stadium anyway? I know Dave, he probably wasn't even going to that game.
Yeah, I don't know about that part, but I just think it was foolish, and it made Ohio State just look like bitches. Really and truly, that's just some pussy shit.
I agree. And look at when Brandon Walker went to Ole Miss last year. He has it out with everybody, but that's part of it. That's what makes the rivalries in college football great. I don't know. I thought it was short-sighted and stupid on Ohio State's part, for sure. But those are a couple of mine.
I couldn't agree more.
But there are a lot of other really good week 1 games. Those are kind of 2 of the ones that were standing out to me. Some other smaller ones, actually, under 55.5 in Georgia Marshall, which is, not a major game, but Marshall lost everybody, lost their coach. They're going to be terrible. But Georgia just has a history in these kind of games. They just win 34-0. I don't think Marshall's going to be able to score more than 7 points. And Georgia, it doesn't seem like they come out and score in the 50s or 60s too often. So I kind of think that you'll see something like that. So that was kind of one I was looking at too. My big play of the whole summer has been ruined. I loved under Notre Dame Miami over-under was 54 a month ago, and it's 49.5 now, Moody. Hate it. That was my favorite. Yeah, I loved it, but if you're missing the party by 4.5 points, I mean, the party's over. Like you can't be getting that worse of a line. So that upset me.
I'll tell you one that I like. It's the LSU Tigers against Clemson. Clemson 3.5 point favorite. LSU's obviously not opened the season well. What, 3 straight years they've lost the opening game, if I'm not mistaken, maybe
No,
4 even.
five. No, 5. They hadn't won the opening
Is it
game
5?
since
Okay.
since Burrow was the last time they won one.
Well, I think they changed that narrative this year. I think LSU beats Clemson. I know it's in Clemson, South Carolina. Totally aware of that. I think LSU goes into there, beats them in the fake Death Valley. And I mean, they're 3.5 point dogs. I think they win this game outright. I like the LSU money line, and then they show them that fake Death Valley is not really anything.
All right, there you go for Moody. That game. I'm kind of up in the air on. I could see Clemson winning close. They came on really strong last year. Kludnick's playing well. Looked good in the playoff. They got 2 of the best defensive players in the country, and it's a night game on the road. It's tough. But I could see Clemson winning a close game. But I definitely don't like Clemson laying 3.5. But I don't have a strong read on LSU on that one either, to be honest. But yeah, it's some great games.
Yeah, we had another college football question. It was about Iowa's quarterback. Do you know anything about the new Iowa quarterback? Gage said they're desperate for anyone with a pulse at the position.
Yeah, they took he's from one of the Dakotas because he was in the office. He's a transfer maybe from North Dakota State. But yeah, I don't know much more than he came from a successful FCS program, and that's what I know. They did have a better offense last year after they fired. Kirk Ferentz fired his son finally as OC, and the offense did get a lot better. Caleb Johnson ran for 1,000,000 yards last year. It was the first year in a long time where Iowa overs were actually a thing last year, which
they were a lock for the unders for the entire season. They had one game that went over. That offense has been really awful. I totally understand the want and need for a new quarterback. It's just it's Iowa. Can you really trust what they're doing at the quarterback position?
No, for sure. But some other good games. There's some other interesting games. Alabama at Florida State is, I don't know if it's going to be a good game, but it's interesting because of Florida State. What are we going to see after the disaster last year? Ty Simpson, new quarterback at Alabama, DeBoer in year 2. A lot of dynamics there. That's not a game I have a strong read on, I'm going to be honest. Florida State took Boston College quarterback Thomas Castellanos, but Gus Malzahn calling plays for Florida State. A lot of history against Alabama. So that's a little bit of an interesting dynamic there. But no real super strong read on it, to be honest. Bama's 13.5 point favorite on the road. Tallahassee, Thursday night, Nebraska at Cincinnati. Nebraska's a 6.5 point favorite. I think Nebraska looks like ratty in that game. I think Nebraska's getting a lot of hype. People are picking them to make the playoff. Brandon Walker, I think, picked them to make the playoffs. I got to see it to believe it. And I think the hype's got a little ahead of them. Those weeknight Thursday night road games are tough in college too. A lot of drunk kids in college towns week 1 fired up. That's usually a spot where the home team's gonna fight. That wouldn't totally shock me. But yeah, man, and I'm excited. Go ahead.
I got one more that maybe there's some coin to be made. Louisiana Tech hosting Southeastern Louisiana. I've done a lot of Southeastern Louisiana games. They're not the same team they were a couple years ago. A couple years ago, they were very legitimate. They're not the same team. Tech should be better. I think Tech covers the 12 at home. The Southland Conference is just dog shit. I've done too many Southland Conference games. I don't give a damn who's coming out of the Southland. None of them are good. I know Tech has not been very good the last couple of years either. I do think Louisiana Tech will be better this year. I think they cover 12 against Southeastern Louisiana.
All right, little insider pick there on Moody Southland Conference knowledge. There you go. Can't say that one was on my radar. I'm excited though. Hopefully you're going to make it. We're still figuring out Moody's plans for the weekend, but I'm going to be rocking on the sideline for week 1 at Northwestern Tulane on Saturday, 11 a.m. Jake Retzloff for Tulane. They haven't announced him as a starting quarterback, but I'd be shocked after he went 10-2 at BYU. I don't think you gave him money, took him to Tulane to sit on the bench. So I'm pretty confident he's going to be starting. But that's going to be a lot of fun, getting to see John Summerall, who I've gotten to be friends with in the Tulane program, and my first New Orleans trip since the Super Bowl. So really excited. I think I'm gonna go in an hour early and just kind of take it all in. But excited about that on Saturday for sure. It's gonna be fun.
Do you have Utah covering 6.5 against UCLA?
So I'm excited to see what Devin Dampier, the new Utah quarterback, looks like. Had a really big year at New Mexico last year. He can really run. He's 5'11". He's not the best passer, but he can run. Could give their offense some new life. Still not sure I want to lay 6 on the road, though. I got to, that's a sit back and see what he looks like situation.
Yeah, wait and see. If anybody else has any more college football questions or NFL questions, feel free to drop them as we talk some ball here at the end of the show.
Yeah, no. Tomorrow we got a big Barstool After Dark stream, 3:00. I'm excited about. And then T-Bob Abear on here on Thursday. And hopefully going to be getting T-Bob once a week to talk ball together with our history and relationship. We both said we want to make a point to talk football together.
Yeah, I agree, Billy. There's nothing like a good WUM at 4 p.m. Central. Next Thursday,
I've been getting rain. Oh, people are saying we got to change the name of the show. I'm getting a lot of that, so I'm going to have to think about it.
I completely agree, and I kind of mentioned, I told you we probably should have done that when we made the switch, but I like the acronym WUM. I don't know. I think it's hilarious personally. Like, what's up, Mintzy or something, I think would be a simple change.
Okay.
Keep it
Yeah.
Totally up to you. Totally up to you in the end. I leave all that to you. But yeah, I agree. It is hilarious that we're doing the show at 4 p.m. and still calling it Wake Up Mintzy. But next Thursday we'll do a full NFL breakdown. We'll have 5 or 6 plays that we like.
Oh, we're going hard, man. We're going to be going hard on football on here. Moody's really good at fantasy too. So anybody's got fantasy questions, I would say definitely fire them away. But yeah, excited.
Year last year. I mean, crazy year.
Yeah, we got you and me got a big draft on Saturday too. Big league, huge buy-in.
Monster buy-in. I mean, one of the just out of my pay range. Fortunately.
Oh, out of mine too. Yeah. We were in it. It was a full Bitcoin last year. This year it's they're not doing. It's like a half of Bitcoin because Bitcoin's price has just gone up too much to do a whole one for a league. But yeah, gonna be a lot of fun. So. But yeah, man, everything else good. Barstool rolling as always. Looking forward to Barstool Beach House and seeing Dave Portnoy on Big Noon Kickoff, and just a great time, man. The energy in the office is different this week. You could feel it. Just first week of football season, everybody's packed schedules. It's kind of starting to roll again. So, excited for the season.
One of the best times of the year, without question. Mintzy, what college football team pisses you off the most all time? I'm going to exclude Mississippi State from this. I'll exclude State. What team pisses you off the most?
I mean, I'll just say Alabama because I got so tired of it. But they're not as good. Maybe they're not as good anymore. But it just sucked how they were so good for so long. And I mean, I have respect for Nick Saban, but it's just so bad for the sport when one team dominates it that long. And so he won so much that it got to be like a fatigue on the sport. They were just like Bama fatigue. So I'll say Bama.
For me, it's become Michigan because for most of my adult life, Michigan has been irrelevant. And then the one year that they're caught cheating was the year that they happened to win it. So I don't have real hatred. Again, I'm not the biggest college football fan. I'm much more a professional sports guy. But I find myself cheering against Michigan just because they feel too big for their britches at times. I realize all the long-standing tradition. I'm fully aware of all that. But for most of my adult life, they had really been an afterthought.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's fair. That's a fair answer.
Do you know who's the starting USC quarterback?
I think it's Maivia, the UNLV transfer, but I that's what I thought going into the year. So I don't know if that's updated. That's who I thought was going to start going in, but I'm not 100% sure.
Chadwick Moff asking a question that I know you're ready to answer. Penix Jr., do you guys feel like he might be a major sleeper as a starting quarterback this year?
Oh, yeah. No, I think he's going to chunk it. The only thing with him in fantasy is he's not going to run it all with the 3 torn ACLs. But, I think he can throw for over 4,000 yards. I mean, I think Atlanta's going to score some points. So, yeah, big Penix fan. It's just in fantasy, he's a lot more value if you're in a 6-point passing touchdown league than 4 because you're not going to get any rushing value.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I like Penix as well this year. I have the Falcons winning the South. I realize Tampa Bay, the defending champs, they're, I believe, still favored as far as odds are concerned. I like the Falcons. I think the Falcons win that division.
Yeah, the big thing with them is how much can the defense improve, but they put a lot of capital into it. They used all their draft picks on D because the defense sucked last year. Jesse Bates is a good safety, but they didn't have much else. But they did draft a lot, and they put a lot of capital into it, so We shall see. But man, can't
We
wait
have
to
to
talk
take care
more.
of business against Tampa.
Can't wait to talk more football all year on here, though, man. Just
Yeah,
so excited.
We'll be rolling all year.
Yeah, just so excited for football season. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. Shout out Annika and Moody and Dude Wipes and Stella Blue. T-Bob A-Bear on Thursday at 4. Check out the Barstool After Dark stream tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Get your minds right, boys.